What's up, everybody? So in this video, I'm going to do the breakthrough of when Carson and I did our first wholesale land deal. So what we're doing is flipping land to home builders. And I know a lot of people see us now doing all these deals, 20, 30, 40 deals per month. And we've done upwards of $5 million profit, over 750 plus deals in the last 3 years. But how did we actually break through and get to our first deal, right? Because a lot of people are going to be beginners and they want to know, how do I actually get started? How do I make that first deal, right? So to do that, I'm going to go all the way back now to May of 2022, right? So right now it's September. So it's about 3.5 years ago, right? And at this time, I'm just sending mass text to everybody, as a lot of you guys are doing right now, just trying to see what people would accept for their properties, right? One day, when I'm sending these messages, I had a home builder text me back, and that home builder said that he would pay $40,000 for any lot in a specific zip code, right? So I wasn't specifically looking for home builders, I was looking for sellers, but he owned a lot of properties. So he said that he would pay $40,000 for anything in a specific zip code. So what I did next was I mass texted every single vacant lot in that zip code, and I offered them $30,000, right? So I actually had some sellers start to give interest and stuff like that, and I was actually able to get a bunch of these sellers under contract in that week under $40,000, right? But at this time, still, like, I've never seen the proof of concept. I still didn't know if it worked, didn't know if the builder was legit. So we sent it all to the title, and how a title company works is it's gonna take anywhere from like 1 to 2 to 3 weeks to actually close after they get all the information, because they have to find the title commitment and all this stuff that you don't have to worry about, but the title company does, and the builder will pay for this, right? But I still was just on the fence of, is this really gonna work, stuff like that. And then that first day of the first closing, it was a Friday, the builder paid. And this first closing was small. I think it was $1,400. And at the time I had like $4,500 in credit card debt, because I was paying for these softwares that I didn't know you didn't need, right? I thought you actually had to pay for it back in the day. Now I know you can do this for free, as you can see in some of the other videos. But anyway, so that first one closed. I knew the proof of concept was real. That next week we ended up doing like $38,000 in profit, I believe it was. And again, this was off of, we were spending like $1,800 a month on marketing, which you can do for free. But at the time I thought you had to spend all this money on marketing, stuff like that. So at that point we first just started just directly to work with this builder, right? So I'm gonna pop up on the screen right here, kind of our books from 2022, from that first closing that closed in June through the end of 2022. I think we did like $450,000 in deals, and of that, like $430,000 was profit. Like, we were very minimal in expenses. But I think I have it sorted by buyer. So I'm gonna show you guys how many with that one specific buyer we did, right? So we just worked with this one builder in the beginning, because again, like, if we know what the builder's gonna pay, all we have to do is find land cheaper than he will pay, and it's so easy to just flip it to him, right? And I don't want you guys to get the misconception that we're actually paying $30,000 and selling it for $40,000. We're just getting a contract for $30,000, $35,000, selling that contract for $40,000, right? And we keep the difference in between, and that's called an assignment fee, right? So all you have to do is get 2 contracts signed at different prices, and if one contract is more than the other, and the buyer will pay more than the seller will sell it for, you get the difference in price, right? So hypothetically, if you get a builder that'll pay $100,000 and a seller will sell for $20,000, you get the $80,000 difference, right? That's not ethical, right? However, that's how the process works, right? And that's what people do when they say they're wholesaling houses, and we're doing the same thing. We're wholesaling land, but you can do a whole lot more volume with this, and you don't have to deal with tenants or inspections. You don't have to go with dealing to the property. Again, we've done 750 deals. Unless we've been in the area and chosen to go to a lot, we never see these properties, right? We just look at the aerial and say, we ask the seller, hey, is it buildable? Yes, okay, cool. Then we're done, right? Because if it's a buildable property, it's very similar to all the other buildable properties. These builders will just buy them over and over again, right? So that was kind of how we lucked into this business, right? And how we've been able to scale it. But we've been fortunate enough to teach over 100 people how to do the same exact thing. And I'm gonna tell you what works for them in getting their first deals, right? So the first mistake that everyone makes when they get into this, and everyone, but most people make when they get into this, is they try to get too cute with anything, right? So the only 2 things that matter with this, and the first one's by far the most important, is knowing what to offer, right? So if you have a builder, it's very easy, because you know you just need to offer less than the builder will pay. But if you don't have a builder, then you just have to offer less than you'll sell it for, right? So you're gonna sell it for about 70 to 80% of market value. So if all the other sales are like $50,000, just figure in your head, I'm gonna sell it for $40,000, because the buyer, the builder, the investor is gonna need to save money. That's why they're gonna work with you, right? So if I'm gonna sell it for $40,000 to $42,000, I wanna offer $30,000 to $32,000, and then I can go up underneath that $40,000 range, because I know I'm gonna make the profit, right? But you need to know what to offer. So if you don't know what to offer, you need to study comping, because a lot of people try to get into this, but they have no idea how to comp. So they think they're making all these deals because all these sellers say yes. Meanwhile, they're only gonna sell something at $50,000 and they're offering these people $70,000. So of course they'll say yes, right? You're offering them way more than it's worth. So people try to do this without knowing how to comp, which is why I recommend learning how to comp before even starting to do this, because if you don't know how to comp, unless you get super, super lucky on accident, you'll never make deals, right? So once you know how to comp, right? So once you know what to offer any lot that you see, basically, which is super easy, you just go on Zillow and you offer them less than the builder will pay, less than an investor will pay. Once you know what to comp, the only other thing is just how many offers can I make, right? That's the whole name of this game. It's a complete numbers game. And that's what I always tell people when they try to get into this industry. It's if I make 1,000 offers a day and you make 10 offers a day, I'm making 100 times more offers than you a day. So just based on numbers and based on math, no matter my experience, nothing like that, just based on math, I'm gonna make 100 times more deals than you. So if you make 1 deal a year, I'm gonna make 100, right? So then you go, you just have to reverse engineer it that way. So it's what to offer, then how many offers can I make, right? Which is why we recommend just sending out 50,000 texts a month. Because if you do that, you can be sending out 5,000, 6,000 offers a month. And if you send out 5,000, 6,000 offers and you know what to offer these people, what are the odds you can't get one person to say yes, right? So the biggest thing when someone's getting started here is I recommend that you understand what to offer people and you make as many offers as possible, right? The more offers you get out, it's the more lines you're casting, and eventually you're gonna catch a fish, right? So all you have to do in this industry, and there's a million different ways to do it. You can do cold callers, mailers, text messages. You can do it with realtors. Nothing matters. All that matters is how many offers can I make at the right price. So you have to know what to offer and make as many offers as possible, right? And when people are doing this, we've had students that have made deals in a day. We've had students that it takes 3 months to make their first deal. But once you make your first deal, you understand that it's just the same process over and over and over again. And it's okay, I find a builder. How much is this builder gonna pay? How many people can I offer less than the builder will pay, right? And the more people you offer, the more likelihood you have of someone saying yes. And once you have someone say yes, you just get the seller to sign a contract that lets you assign their property without ever owning it, and then you just sell that contract to the builder for more money. The title company just pays you out a wire. You're out none of your own money. You have no risk, nothing like that if you do this correctly, right? So I don't know if you guys can tell based on this so far, but the builders are so important, and having that builder locked in makes it so easy, because once you have that builder, you know exactly what to offer. Because if a builder's gonna pay 40,000, even if a seller says they'll only sell for 39,000, I know I can still make $1,000. But if I don't have a builder, you're kind of doing this guessing game, right? Especially for beginners. So because of this, we have built a platform, and we have a builder buy box in our community now, and all these builders are in here. So when you get a deal, you can just search up in the builder platform the market you're in, and you can use someone else's builder and partner with them, or partner with Carson and I, and partner with some of our students that are now doing upwards of $100,000 per month, right? So that's why we built this community. That community is called 7-Figure Flips. If you guys are interested in a spot, you can go click below this video and apply. But long story short, the most important thing when you're getting started and trying to get your first deal is just sending out as many offers as possible. I know it sounds cliche, I know it sounds super simple, and it is simple. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's simple, right? If you know what to offer and you send 100 offers a day, you're sending out 3,000 offers a month, you're sending out 36,000 offers a year, right? What are the odds you can't get one person to say yes? And you know, if you're offering 10,000 less than you'll sell it for every time, you know you just need one person out of 3,000 people to say yes, and you make $10,000 per month, right? Which, multiply that by 12, you're making $120,000 per year. And that's if one person out of 3,000 says yes. What if 5 people say yes? Then you're making $50,000 a month, $600,000 per year. What if 10 people say yes, right? Then you're making $100,000 a month. You're making $1.2 million a year, right? And everyone thinks it's so hard, and they see these numbers and stuff like that, and they always tell us it's impossible and this can't be real, and they're all just haters and stuff like that. But you guys just heard the numbers, right? If we have a system, right, between mass texts, mass cold calls, and mass mailouts where we can make 5,000 offers a day, we're making 150,000 offers a month. What are the odds we can get 25 people to say yes? And if we know what to offer, and we offer all these people 10,000 less than the builder will pay, and we offer 150,000 people $10,000 less than the builder will pay, what are the odds we can't get 25 people out of 150,000 a month to say yes? And if you do that, 25 times $10,000 is $250,000 per month, which is $3 million per year, right? So when we start to show you these numbers and talk about how we've done 5 million in 3 years and 750 deals and no one believes us, those are the numbers. That's the breakdown, right? It's how many offers can you make, right? And Smarter Contacts, for an example, is a mass texting platform. And it's like, which again, you don't have to do this, but for $1,700 a month, you can send 100,000 messages, right? So I just talked about the 150,000 rule, 100,000 messages for 1,700. How many yeses would you get if you sent out 100,000 offers? Seriously, just think about that, right? If you send 100,000 offers, how many people would say yes, right? Then you add in cold callers and mail outs, and it really just starts to get fun, which is how we've been able to do $500,000 months, which is how Grayson's been able to do $100,000 months, which is how some of our students are doing $100,000 in a month, $50,000 in a month. They're just making offers and making sure those offers are accurate, and they're just doing it over and over and over and over again. And when someone says yes, they send them the simple contract. When they sign that contract, they sell that contract to a builder, and they just rinse and repeat this over and over and over again, right? So I hope this brings clarity for people that are trying to start wholesaling real estate, wholesaling land specifically. If you guys haven't already, go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, follow Carson on Instagram at Carson Buys Land, Wiener Bros on Instagram. And then if you are interested in joining our community with all of our builders and the full training, go ahead and apply for a call now.